Good morning, YouTube. I'm out in the garage with Gray Cat on a very beautiful morning here in Houston. It's Thursday. It's supposed to be a really nice day today. So we're going to get some work done on the Vehicross. We're going to go ahead and try to splice in that wire. Oh, check this out. This is what I did to the Bronco yesterday. Yesterday I got the window of the Bronco up. I tore the door apart. It's really early in the morning here. Neighbors aren't up yet. I took the door apart on the Bronco to get that window up, and I also looked and saw where the regulator is. You may have to do the regulator, but the high school kids ripped out my interior. So what I did yesterday is I just sprayed in a really cheap plastic liner there to give myself a little bit of insulation. And then I have these old floor mats that I use. That's a homemade bike rack I built, and then I just sprayed some rubber down in between. I didn't really want to spray the bed, but it does get really slippery when it's rainy back there. So I just sprayed a little bit in. After all, it's not a show truck. Look at the seats. Love the seats, but man, my Eddie Bauer leather coming apart in the elements. Alright, well, I'm going to pop the hood on the Vehicross and we'll pick up from there. Alright, so the first thing we want to do, hood up, is disconnect our battery. Looks like it takes a number 10. That was easy. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, everybody. And we're just going to loosen up the negative cable first. I tell you, I hate working with batteries. I don't like working with electricity when I was little. And then we're going to put this away from the terminal. Yay, away from the terminal. Alright, so from negative we go to positive. Again, we're going to use that number 10. When I was a kid, I was out working with my grandfather was trying to make me work on cars. This particular day, I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but he was having me fart around with battery, somewhere around the battery, and then we take the positive off. Let me put that where it's not going to touch anything. You can see my oil leak in there. So now the entire circuit's been disrupted. We can get back there, cut wires and all that. But anyway, Grandpa had me doing something, and somehow I took a screwdriver and put it across the two terminals. From then on, I've been very gun shy of these batteries. So from here, everything's disconnected. We're going to move on back. Gray some treats. We're going to take a break. He's looking all sad this morning. So here you go, Gray Cat. There's some treats. Funny story about Baby Magic this morning. He came out with us earlier this morning too. His deal was he got a big old cicada. Had to have been an inch and a half long, and he somehow got it past me to the house and let it loose in the kitchen. And I spent a couple minutes this morning tracking down the cicada. He was very disappointed when I took his toy away. Very disappointed. Alright, so what I consider a design flaw in this car. There's no real way to open this thing up. Don't lock this in here like I have before, because then you're climbing from the front back. Alright, we're just going to take a standard Phillips head. If you remember from last time, our last little debacle here, we're missing a screw, so let's not lose this one. Alright, this should just pop out again. From last time we were back here, we're going to pop our lights out. There's our culprit. This is what we want to replace, this guy right here. Same tools as last time. We're going to go and we're going to do this in a reverse manner. If you remember, last time I cut from the harness way down here to give myself some working room. This time I'm going to cut from the harness up here to give myself some working room. So again, the same cutters. I'm just going to go through and cut. So now this really bad, gnarly, rusty, nasty piece is out. This is just something that I couldn't make happen. And we're going to take our same wire strippers that we had before. unwind these a little bit. And we are going to strip these wires off. Boom, there's one. I want to look and see how gross that is. And then, boom, here comes number 2. Alright. So there we have it. We have now prepped this for soldering, which we're going to do here in a minute. It looks like we have about 2 hours before the sun comes up and starts to bake us pretty good. Alright, before we get started with the soldering, I just want to plug this guy's channel. This guy is Chris Fix on YouTube. He has a very good soldering tutorial. Now, I've never soldered before. This is going to be my first time. I'm using his tutorial as my guide. So if this is a giant mess up, don't blame this guy. But he has not only soldering tutorials, but all kinds of good car tutorials. I've learned a lot from his channel. You can learn a lot from his channel too. Very young, very enthusiastic, excellent teacher. Anyway, Chris Fix tutorial on soldering. Okay, so here's what we're going to need to do this. We're going to need first our part, which we've already prepped. Then we're going to need a soldering gun. So I went down to Harbor Freight. I bought this kit. It comes with the gun. It comes with the resin. Went ahead and bought this because it didn't say what the kit came with. This is for electronics. One thing I learned by watching that Chris Fix thing is that there are different types of solder. Some for electronics and some for industrial or plumbing, things like that. We want to make sure that we have the electronic stuff. Heat shrink gun. Why do we need a heat shrink gun? For this stuff, we're going to use the scissors to cut this up. We're going to sleeve it over. And again, this is going to be our insulation once we've welded everything together. Again, I think this was less than $1 at Harbor Freight for all that junk. Oh, this is what I used on the Bronco. That rubber flex. It was way cheaper than the stuff on TV. Stuff on TV was like $12.99 a can. That was $8.99 a can. I'm sure it's not going to last forever, but then again, the intent is not to have it last forever. So these are the tools that we will be taking out to the Vehicross, well, except for the rubber flex, to use here in a second to solder everything together. Again, pretty excited. This is going to be my first time soldering anything. So feel free to laugh. Hey, baby magic. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our sleeve on. I'm going to start with the hot wire first. Or positive. We're going to put our sleeve on just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and wrap this around. There we go. Now we get to start the solder. First time. Yeehaw. Alright. I have my glasses. I have a stool. I have resin. I have a soldering gun. I have solder. So let's see if we can do this. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of resin. And we're going to put it on the wire. And now you see why I have my glasses. That kind of went like the videos. Although I think I smell some burning rubber. So again, the theory is you heat the wire. Oh, there we go. That's beginning to melt in there. Alright, there's Gray Cat. Alright, reverse hookup on battery. So we went from negative to positive, so now we're going to go positive to negative back. And again, like the story I told you before, I do not like farting around with batteries. my least favorite thing to do. My other least favorite thing to do, although a lot of people have me do it all the time, is installing light fixtures. My ex-father-in-law used to say, oh, if the light switch is off, the circuit's broken, you don't have to worry about it. I've never trusted that. I always have to have the breaker and the light switch off. Although I am pretty good at installing ceiling fans. My old house, my ex-girlfriend's place, just installed one at mom and dad's house. Feels weird for some reason. Alright, so let's try it out. Y'all will be the first to know. Alright, y'all are going to get to see. Did it work or did it not work? About to find out. See, now is where I need an assistant, other than cats. Alright, well guys, that was completely exciting. This is the first time that I've ever soldered, and this is probably the worst soldering you've ever seen in your life. But the deal is, it got the job done. So now we have a car that is working. I mean, it can pass inspection again. I'm going to go ahead and button this whole thing up. Again, I'm pretty excited. That went nothing like the tutorial that I saw at Chris Fix. His was all nice and easy and flowing. This was ridiculously bad. But anyway, first time, good. I thank you for spending time with me today. So does Gray Cat. I don't know where Baby Magic went. He's around here somewhere, probably chasing down more bugs because he thinks he never eats enough. So anyway, the next project is going to be the side view mirror. We may hit that today while we have some shade. We probably have about 30 minutes left of shade before things start to get really hot here in Houston.